Hey, parents, here's what most of us parents don't realize: stress is contagious. And I'm not saying that metaphorically, but neurologically, stress is contagious. When one family member's nervous system gets stuck in fight or flight sympathetic dominant mode, it creates a ripple effect that impacts every other person in our house. The baby picks up on dad's work tension. The toddler mirrors mom's overwhelmed state. Even our dog can act differently when the family's stress starts to peak. Now, sometimes we try to individualize this problem, and that's really how we've grown up in the American culture. We think an individualized approach instead of a family one. Anxiety medication for mom, sleep training for the baby, behavior charts for the 5-year-old. But we're missing the bigger picture here. No one heals in isolation. When you're neurologically wired to co regulate with the people you live with, you must heal together. So today's video is for parents who notice that when one family member is struggling, everyone seems to struggle. For families where dad's work stress somehow seems to affect the baby's sleep, and mom's anxiety always seems to show up as a toddler suffering from tantrums. And when ultimately this boils over because holiday gatherings leave everyone exhausted for days. You're not imagining these connections, they're neurologically real. So today, you're going to discover how family nervous systems literally synchronize with each other, why caring for just one person rarely creates lasting changes, and how something called co-regulation explains why your stress becomes your kid's stress. Most importantly, you're going to understand how neurologically focused chiropractic care for the whole family isn't just helpful, it's essential for breaking those generational patterns of dysfunction. Because what research shows is 15% of infants experience regulation difficulties in their first year. But what that stat doesn't capture is those babies are usually born into families where parents are already dysregulated. Stress is running high at all times, and we see this pattern every single week in our practice. Really stressed out, really productive parents bringing in a struggling child, not realizing that their nervous systems are connected like Wi-Fi networks in their house. Now, the data gets more compelling because when we think about pregnancy, when mom experiences chronic stress during her pregnancy, cortisol levels are going to directly program the baby's developing nervous system. That baby grows up with a nervous system that is pre-wired for stress. Now, they become anxious kids, they become stressed out adults, then they have babies of their own, and the cycle continues. You're sharing nervous system patterns that have been passed down for years. Now, there is some science here, so let's talk about co-regulation. Your nervous system doesn't sit there and operate in isolation. It's constantly reading and responding to the other nervous systems around you through what we call co-regulation. Now, just like an air traffic controller has to coordinate all the planes in the sky, your nervous system is trying to coordinate with every other nervous system in your home. Now, kids are amazingly, especially tuned into their parents' nervous systems. They detect stress through our tone, through our touch, even through our heartbeat from across the room. They seem to be able to read what's going on with mom and dad. And when dad comes home stressed from work, the entire family's nervous system can shift towards sympathetic dominance, that fight or flight state, within minutes. And I can tell you from personal experience as a dad, this is absolutely true. I've seen it in my own house, and it's something I'm constantly looking out for. Now, in our office, we use a scan called heart rate variability. Now, this measures and shows the family members' stress patterns that they often are synchronized, and we see the cycles kind of repeating themselves family member by family member. Now, we talked a little bit in the beginning about individual care, and this is where individual care can fall short. Because if we only care for mom's anxiety, but dad stays in a dysregulated state, we're literally trying to remodel a house on a cracked foundation. The base of the family's nervous system is not stable enough to work off of. Just like sending your child to a therapy appointment, while the home environment is incredibly stressed, can be like pushing a car up a hill with a parking brake on. It just slows progress almost to a halt. One family member getting adjusted is like having one instrument tuned in an orchestra, but everyone else is left off key. Now, the good news is there's a neurological path forward. When families receive neurological chiropractic care together, their heart rate variability patterns, they begin to synchronize in a healthy, balanced way. Families create what we call a regulation field where everyone's nervous system supports each other instead of stresses each other. And this allows the breaking of that generational cycle of stress. Just like the umbilical cord connects mom and baby, your family's nervous systems are connected as well, long after the umbilical cord is no longer attached. So instead of just surviving the chaos, you can start transforming it. Families, it may be time to schedule these boost adjustments as we head into summer, and it's a little bit extra stressful right now finishing school. And if you're new here or your child is undercared, but you're interested to see your scans, click the link in our bio, comment below, or send us a DM to schedule. Your family deserves better than survival mode as you head into summer. We'll see you soon.